Hello guys and welcome to our Game Week 3 preview. This time we're starting with clean sheets odds. Leicester vs Norwich away, Brighton vs Everton home, and West Ham vs Palace home are the three teams with the highest clean sheets odds. Leicester has kept one clean sheet so far and faces Norwich, who are yet to score this season. Brighton has kept 4 clean sheets in their last 4 home matches, while Everton has failed to score in 2 of their last 3 away matches. Palace are yet to score 2 in the Premier League this season. That's why West Ham are expected to keep their first clean sheet of the season, so we advise you to use these odds when choosing whom to bench and whom to start. Now let's check how Fantasy Football Scout picks did in Game Week 2. And we've got 4 clean sheets and 3 assists in the defense, 1 goal from midfield and 4 goals from the attackers, which makes up for an astounding 107 points without any captaincy. You can subscribe now to FF Scout from our link in the description and get a 20% discount. To the next segment, 4 male defenders' performances and their chances to start for their teams in the upcoming game weeks. Tsimikas. 2 clean sheets and 1 assist in 2 games from the 4 male defender. Tsimikas satisfied all of his FPL owners. However, Andy Robertson is back in training and was on the bench against Burnley. Despite the impressive performance from Tsimikas, there is no way for the Greek to be a starter if Robertson is fit. Considering the fact that Liverpool play Chelsea in next game week, I think it's most likely that Robertson will start in the next game. Duffy. 2 games, 2 great performances, 1 goal and 1 clean sheet for Shane Duffy. Veltman and Byrne are still out, and that's the main reason Duffy had the chance to start the season. Graham Potter is impressed by him, and I think the manager will rely on the defender while he's in that form. Therefore, Duffy should be a starter at least for the next few game weeks when Brighton have relatively easy matches. Livramento. He's doing pretty well so far, and it seems Hasenhuttl trusts him. Against Manchester United, Kyle Walker-Peters was subbed on and played as a left back, while Livramento kept his possession at the right. Southampton played with 5 at the back in the second half, which made Livramento a right wing back. He looks like the most nailed on 4 male defender for now, but Southampton have 5 difficult fixtures coming up, and I wouldn't rely on him to earn many points. Hover. As expected, Semedo returned in the starting 11 for Wolves and Hover was left on the bench. I believe both will have chances during the season and we shouldn't expect Hover to start every game. Omoba Mideli. Norwich's defender was fit but left on the bench against Man City. As it seems for now, he's not a starter. Amarty. Vestergaard suffered an injury and it seems that Amarty will keep his position in the starting 11 for a few more weeks. Leicester conceded 4 against West Ham, but the next match is against Norwich. Brandon Williams. He completed a loan move to Norwich and is expected to be a regular starter for the Canaries. Their current left back, Giannoulis, was very poor versus Man City and was subbed at 46 minutes. Let's take a look at the FPL market and analyze your transfers. Transfers in. Tsimikas. If you don't really own him, you've missed the bandwagon. Robertson is back and will most likely start against Chelsea, despite a man of the match performance by Tsimikas. It was a short but sweet ride for Tsimikas. Duffy. Similar to Tsimikas, Duffy is a placeholder for Brighton at the moment, while Byrne and Veltman are unavailable. He will likely lose his spot when they return, so it isn't worth the transfer. Jota. 2 goals in 2 starts for the Portuguese man. It appears as though this run of form is locking him in for the starting role in the front 3 over Firmino, meaning he presents great value at a low midfielder price. I might hold off until after next week however, as Liverpool face Chelsea, who have been strong defensively. Ings. No doubt a class striker, but possibly not the best option. Villa's fixtures turn rather sour after this week, while the likes of Antonio and Calvert-Lewin have a much more appealing fixture list. El Ghazi being confirmed on penalties for Villa also lessens the appeal of Ings slightly, not to mention Ollie Watkins is still yet to return and he'll undoubtedly get his share of goals up top. Lukaku. Like we said last week, Chelsea have some tough fixtures in the next 4 games, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Tottenham and Man City. While Lukaku always has a chance of scoring in these games, at 11.5 mil, I would rather wait until game week 7 when Chelsea's fixtures become better. Salah and Bruno still remain 2 premium options that are safe to have, which can be enough for now. Benrahma and Antonio are among the top transfers now. Regarding their price and their performance, it's no surprise. Having at least one of them is a must.
Hi everyone, this is Big Man Bakr and I'm recording this video for FPL updates and tips. Today I am going to answer your questions on Lukaku. Is it the right time to buy him? In my opinion, I think he's going to do well over the next 3 to 4 weeks. His numbers this week were incredible. He had 7 shots inside the box. He had 3 big chances moments. But I think we can afford to wait till game week 7 at least, because that is when Chelsea's fixtures turn. For the time being, I think Antonio and Calvert-Lewin are the ones to get. They are in the top 2 for XG non-penalty and expected goal involvement respectively. And I think with West Ham's and Everton fixtures over the next 3 to 4 games, they can come close to matching Lukaku. And that 3 to 4 million saving over Lukaku can go a long way. So I think let's wait and see before we invest in Lukaku, because he isn't really a captaincy option at the moment with Salah and Fernandes around. Thank you.
Transfers out. Tony, yet to find the net in the Premier League, but I wouldn't be rushing to sell yet. 5 shots, 2 on target against Crystal Palace was the most in that match, which showed he's hungry for goals. He's still a cheap option, and Brentford have shown they're here to play, so let's hold on to him for now. Also worth noting, it took him 3 games to get off the mark in the Championship last season. Stones. Aymeric Laporte will play the next game against Arsenal. The guys who play good will play next game. That was what Pep Guardiola said. So looks like Stones will have to wait to get a run, so I wouldn't be holding on to him until his minutes are confirmed. Dean. Frustrating start to the season for Dean, 0 clean sheets and 0 goal contributions, 5 chances created and 0 big chances created. While there are perhaps better options for 5.5 mil, Everton have chances for clean sheets in upcoming games, so perhaps he's worth keeping for now. Target. He lost his starting spot to Young after a disastrous game week 1 against Ismail Assar. He is not worth holding on to. Kane made a cameo off the bench against Wolves, but personally I feel he's a waste of money at the moment, with better cheaper options available, at least until we see the Kane that we know. White. Arteta confirmed that White won't be ready for the Man City game, but if you can't afford benching him in Game Week 3, then avoid selling him as Arsenal have a favourable run of fixtures after the international break. Shaw. Manchester United have conceded just 6 shots in the box, first, and have an XGC of 1.33, third. They were unlucky to concede in both matches. Wolves are second for shots so far this season, but they're yet to score. I would not waste a transfer on a player who has a big chance of keeping clean sheets in Game Week 3 and faces Newcastle home in Game Week 4. Up next, player stats in the first 2 game weeks. The top creators so far are Arnold, who has created 10 chances, more than any other player. 2 of them were big chances. Gabriel Jesus registered an expected assist of 1.34 in their match versus Norwich City. Fornals is impressing for West Ham, and he's their main creator with an expected assist of 1.1. No surprise that Antonio has fired the most shots so far, 10, most shots on target 6, and 8 shots in box, 1 behind Calvert-Lewin, who has similar stats. Team stats in the first 2 game weeks. West Ham dominates offensive stats with 8 goals from 16 shots on target and 9 big chances. Liverpool are the second best attack. 4 teams have failed to score so far, and they are Wolves, Palace, Arsenal and Norwich. We should target these teams for clean sheets. Players versus team stats. Raheem Sterling has been directly involved in 11 goals in 15 Premier League appearances against Arsenal, 8 goals and 3 assists. De Bruyne has 8 goal involvements in 10 matches too. Spurs 3 stars, Kane, Son and Ali have all impressive records versus Watford. Son has been directly involved in 6 goals in his last 10 appearances for Tottenham against Watford, 5 goals and 1 assist. Kane has scored 3 and assisted 2 goals in 8 matches. Ali has scored 5 goals and assisted 1 in 9 matches. Theo Walcott has been involved in more Premier League goals, 11 against Newcastle, than he has against any other side in the competition, with 5 goals and 6 assists. Note, however, that 5 of these goal involvements came in a single match in December 2012, 3 goals and 2 assists. Jamie Vardy has not scored in his last 11 Premier League away matches since netting for Leicester against Spurs in December 2020. It is his longest run without a goal on the road since his first 12 away appearances in the competition between September 2014 and March 2015. After netting 4 goals in his first 4 Premier League appearances against Liverpool, Chelsea striker Romelu Lukaku has scored in only 1 in his last 11 against the Reds. Players comparison. Ings vs Calvert-Lewin. Ings scored 2 goals with only 2 shots on target, 1 came from the spot, but when El Ghazi is on the pitch, he's on penalty duty. Aston Villa is the worst team in the league in terms of expected goals with only 1 shot on target per game. In the next 4 they face 5th, first, 8th and 3rd defenses in the league, despite 2 goals. Ings is a sell for me after Game Week 3. On the other side, 9 shots, 9 in box, 6 on target and 3 big chances for Dominic Calvert-Lewin is second best in the league. He's also on penalties, and Everton is 3rd in terms of shots on target and expected goals, only behind Liverpool, West Ham and Chelsea. In the next 4 game weeks, the Toffees will face 11th, 16th, 7th and 17th defenses in the league for expected goals conceded. In my opinion, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is the best forward option for the next few game weeks. Greenwood vs Jota. It's a close call and both have their pros and cons. Jota is less nailed, 142 minutes, but he recorded 3 big chances and 5 shots. Liverpool is 3rd in the league in terms of expected goals and best in terms of shots, 46, shots on target 17 and big chances 7, but in Game Week 3 they faced the best defense in the league. Greenwood played full 180 minutes and recorded more shots, 8. He also created 1 big chance. In the next game week he faces 8th defense in the league, but Man United is slightly worse offensively than the Reds. As a conclusion, both options are good, but Firmino is a little bit of a problem for Jota. Benrahma vs Rafinha. West Ham is on fire mainly because of Antonio and Benrahma. He recorded 12 points per game, and in the next 4 game weeks he faces 7th, 18th, 3rd and 14th defense in the league, but in this form I can see him bagging points even against Man United. On the other hand, Rafinha scored in last game week recording 6 shots, which is best among midfielders. Next week he faces Burnley, who concedes chances mainly from their left, so it could be a field day for Rafinha. Now, as a reminder for Fantasy 5, this is the last game week in August, and after this game week we will announce our Fantasy 5 mini league winner who will get the £100. It's your last chance to join, just click on the link in the description. Now let's move on to team stats and tips. Stat 1. Arsenal last 5 visits to the Etihad, 3 goals scored, 2 failed to score, 12 goals conceded, 4 out of 5 where 2+ goals were conceded. After a disastrous start to the campaign with 2 consecutive defeats, it is not getting any easier for Arsenal ahead of Game Week 3 trip to the Etihad Stadium. In fact, Man City have always enjoyed facing Arsenal at the Etihad over the course of recent seasons, winning all last 5 at home soil, registering 12 goals, 2 or more goals scored in 4 of their last 5 encounters, while from a defensive perspective, the Gunners have failed to score in 2 of their last 5 visits to the Etihad and yet to score a Premier League goal since the start of the season. It's worth highlighting that only Newcastle have had more expected goals conceded than Arsenal's 4.6, in addition to conceding 22 shots in the box, 17th since the start of the season, which may bode well for City assets, ahead of what we believe to be a high-scoring game for City. My advice to you is to hold on for the likes of Jack Grealish and Riyad Mahrez, while I'm confident that returns at both ends of the pitch could be on the horizon for Kyle Walker. Stat 2. Brighton last 6 home matches, 11 goals scored and 3 goals conceded. Brighton is one of the most underrated teams in Premier League. They always put in great displays and create many chances, but don't convert their high XG into goals. Brighton are one of just 5 teams to win their 2 Premier League games as they prepare to host Everton ahead of Game Week 3 with a decent home record of 4 wins and 2 draws in the last 6 at home, scoring 11 goals and conceding just 3 goals over the same period. In fact, only 4 teams have registered more shots on target than Brighton, 11, despite the fact that Neil Maupay, being a doubt for the weekend, may reduce their attacking force. On the other side, Brighton have been solid at the back since the start of the season, while upcoming opponent Everton have recently suffered on the road, having failed to score in 2 of their last 3 away games, so my advice to you is to start with Brighton defenders. Stat 3. Tottenham last 4 home matches, 3 out of 4 with clean sheets. Watford last 4 away matches, 3 out of 4 failed to score. This one is kind of too obvious, isn't it? Spurs have kept 3 clean sheets across their last 4 at home, and Nuno Santo have had his tremendous effect on Spurs defense in the opening 2 game weeks with solid defensive displays. To be honest, Spurs were lucky to get those 2 clean sheets against such tough opponents, having conceded more shots on target, 43, and 3rd most shots in the box, 25. And had to rely on some heroic saves from their captain Hugo Lloris. Though we believe it's going to be another story versus Watford ahead of Game Week 3, as the Hornets has failed to score in 3 of their last 4 road trips in the Championship and have had an XG of 1.49, 16th in the opening 2 game weeks. I believe there's a possible clean sheet for Spurs in this one. Getting Reguilon would be a nice move. Stat 4. Burnley last 5 home matches, 5 out of 5, 2+ goals conceded. Unlike previous seasons, when Burnley's defense had been reliable for clean sheet points, it is not recently the case. The Clarets have conceded 2 or more goals across their last 5 at home, which further raises concerns for FPL managers about their ability to get points. Up next for Burnley is a visit from Leeds, whom I believe when in form could easily score thanks to Marcelo Bielsa's attacking philosophy. Rafinha registered 8 shots, 6 in the opening 2 game weeks, and last season favourite Bamford is always capable of getting into the score sheet. My advice to you is to keep faith in this pair, as we believe that they could deliver come the weekend. Top 3 differentials. Callum Wilson. One of many appealing options in his price range, Callum Wilson has already opened his account with a goal against West Ham on the opening game week. Among strikers who started the first 2 games, only 3 strikers have fired in more shots than his 7 attempts, in addition to the key pass he has provided. Being on the receiving end of 2 big chances created by his teammates, he should be profiting from his role as the target man to most opportunities. His attacking appeal is also boosted by his penalty duties that will push him to net more goals. Pablo Fornals, yet another West Ham player that started the season pretty well but looks to be going under the radar, with 2 attacking returns to his name already, including an assist against Newcastle in the opening game week and a goal versus Leicester just the week that followed. Perhaps the 2 major elements of selecting the Spanish midfielder are firstly his underlying numbers in attack, since in addition to his 3 shots, including the 2 reaching target, he is the most creative player in the team as of now, with up to 7 chances created. Secondly, his price makes him more flexible to afford compared to his more expensive teammates Bowen and Benrahma, at a time when owning a West Ham attacking force is more of a necessity rather than a luxury due to their recent decent team form. He is the cheapest route into their attacking setup and could be a good double up with informed striker Michael Antonio. Kylie Walker. Back in the starting lineup last weekend, Kylie Walker has guided Man City to keep a clean sheet in a 5-goal thrashing of Norwich, and despite the absence of an attacking output, he still attempted a shot and was among the top 5 players to figure on the BPS in that game. A major worry of selecting him, however, as with every other Man City player, has to be the rotation, but when reading into the Norwich game, the versatility of Cancelo could secure more playing time for Kylie, as the Portuguese defender is also capable of playing as a left back. Facing an Arsenal side that seems lost, this represents a decent opportunity to jump on a defensive asset from Man City. To the last segment, Captain Picks. For the first time this season, we're recommending non-premium assets as being Gameweek 3's best captaincy choices, with the likes of Salah and Lukaku facing each other at Anfield, with Bruno facing Wolves away this week, and with injury concerns surrounding Son Heung-min, we're throwing some new names into the captaincy mix for Gameweek 3. While over the course of a season, it usually pays to put the captain's armband on premium assets, game weeks where the top teams play against each other or have tough fixtures provides us with an opportunity to back those mid-range players who have both good form and fixture. Such is the case in Game Week 3. The 2 main players we're highlighting this week are Michael Antonio and Danny Ings. West Ham's Antonio has been on fire with 29 points from just 2 games thanks to 3 goals and 3 assists. He looks primed for another positive return versus Crystal Palace this weekend. Our second highlighted player, Danny Ings, has scored 2 goals in 2 games for his new club Aston Villa. His majestic overhead kick against Newcastle will have his confidence levels high for Game Week 3 clash at home to newly promoted Brentford. For Michael Antonio, he has home advantage in a buoyant stadium with 2 wins already under his belt. The Hammers fans will be roaring their team forward. In addition, Crystal Palace have looked decidedly average in their first 2 games of the season. However, one of Antonio's most prominent cons is his injury record, as even his biggest fans would expect to see him pull up with a hamstring injury at any time. Another con is that Crystal Palace will be hoping to build on the clean sheet they achieved against Brentford. For Danny Ings, the pros are that he is one of the league's most natural and gifted finishers. With a tough run of fixtures coming up, Villa will be going all out for the 3 points versus Brentford. Ings has scored an impressive 34 league goals in the past 2 seasons despite being out injured for a while. One of his biggest cons, however, is that he's currently not on penalties, as El Ghazi has a 100% record from the spot. Brentford have also kept 2 clean sheets in their opening 2 fixtures, so they might be tough to break down. Our alternative and third choice for captaincy this game week is Jamie Vardy. The Foxes' number line looks to be in great form ahead of Leicester's trip to Norwich. Leicester would really fancy their chances of deepening the Canaries' misery, as their tough fixture list at the start of the season continues. Our recommendation for Game Week 3 is to captain Michael Antonio. It's incredible to think that he went from being a fullback to one of Premier League's best centre forwards. We're backing him to bag another double-digit haul versus Crystal Palace at the weekend. This is it for our Game Week 3 preview. As usual, feel free to leave all your questions and thoughts in the comments and we'll reply to each one of them. Thank you for watching, good luck and peace!